Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conversation with Dr. Joan Coleman and friends. I am Dr. Joan Coleman. You can find me on Instagram at letmebemenj, and I'm with my friends, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Caravella, women's self-care coach and Souled RD. You can find me on Instagram at Michelle_Caravella.
All right, Rita
Hi, I'm Rita Reynolds, and you can find me on Instagram as the Reynolds Law.
and Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan Price. You can find me on Insta at mpjewerlyappraisal&consulting.
All right, today we are here and we are so excited. On October the 10th is National World's Mental Health Day. And so, lately, the past few years, we've been talking about mental health. We've been talking about self-care is not selfish, and it's okay to take care of yourself to preserve your mental health. So many things are going on in the world that people, lose their way and their mental health is not as stable as it should be. Can I say that? Is that okay? Is that all right? And so we're here today to talk about your mental health. And Michelle, let's start with you. What are some tips that you could give out to secure someone's mental health, to help them on their journey to having good, stable mental health?
Yeah, I think looking at your mental health as something that you tend to like your physical health. I feel like in our society, we understand you got to go to the gym. Not that you gotta, but like exercise, good nutrition, like that's like a more normalized tactical thing. So making kind of viewing your mental health in that same avenue, like with that same perspective. So, filling your soul cup or, tending to that the same way you would tend to your physical health. Number one, I think is important, like realizing that that's a part of being healthy, right? One of my favorite tips that I have my clients do is what I call make a soul nourishment list. So this is often twofold. On one side, it's just things that bring you joy, and just go ahead and brain dump them. All the things that bring you joy, and then on the other side, more of how you cope with stress and emotion. So, and sometimes these things might overlap. Like people might say they like to run, that brings them joy. That also is a stress reliever. Or you might enjoy meditating, so it's both. So make a little bit of time to set that up like now in honor of mental health awareness day. So that's a tool again in your toolbox.
Yeah.
Super important. And it's not selfish. It's important for you and for those around you.
Yeah, that's so great. Those were awesome tips. You know what? Sometimes when we're trying to preserve her mental health, something comes along and trigger us and trigger those feelings. And Rita, how do you cope with that when something triggers your feeling and your mental health seem like, oh, shifty, Because a little thing can get you spiraling on like a hamster wheel. So how do you slow down that wheel?
Well, as you know, I suffer, from severe anxiety. So I was diagnosed like this year, and I think, part of the acceptation. Like I think I lived with this for years, and I never accepted. If I feel very bad, like uncomfortable, in fact, this make me not allow even to have a normal relationship. So, um, part of me accepting everything, therapy, medication, things that I don't accept before. Now my life is better. I know it's more physical, like you can say yoga and stuff, but for me, honestly, the medication changed my life. I need to be honest with this.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that I'm not support. My son is in the spectrum, so he take medication. And in the beginning, I was like, okay, no, but in some point, to be open because the life improves. Honestly, with meditation, my life changed. Like it's been a whole thing, a different thing now. I just
Yeah, that is so awesome that you're so transparent with that because we put a stigma on medication. We don't want people to think we're
I
crazy. We don't want
think
people to think,
so.
something's wrong with us.
No, it's not. I don't think it's stigma because
Mhm.
it's not for the criticize everybody, but to go around like the moms, they take Xanax as candy. I
Yeah.
don't do that. you know?
Right,
So I
right.
don't think it's a taboo. This is not a taboo. People talk about, oh, I take Cymbalta, Xanax, you know, wherever they have. I don't take Xanax. I need something for my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think really around this area is a taboo. I think people are very open to what they take, honestly.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Megan, did you think it was a taboo? Because in my area, I think it's like, oh, you know. So what do you think, Megan? Is it, what do you think, Michelle? Is it a taboo, Megan? I can't,
Honestly, can you hear me? Yes.
yeah.
Okay. I think that when because it does become taboo, and it can be taboo depending on who you're around, who you're with. I think that really makes a difference. You know, when you feel like you're being judged and whatnot, when you feel like you're in good company, like, oh, we all do this, like, or we all drink our wine, or we all take our Xanax, like, I'm stressed out. You know, I think that like it's almost like a joke, but I think that's what creates the taboo, because it's like it seems silly that you might need something
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
so I think almost like joking about it like that, and like maybe being too comfortable talking about it is what creates the taboo, when really it's just a lack of understanding, and really you do need those. We need to be diagnosed, and you need medication every once in a while, or all the time, and that might change. But I think that you can feel like you're judged if you're on medication. I
Yeah.
think it can be taboo, and I do think that kind of like the humor in it, like making it like, oh, it's so funny, like I just pop into Xanax right now, like it's not funny, like kind of taking that joke away from the conversation and from like the daily dialogue with people. I think would be really helpful in kind of eliminating that taboo feeling.
I am telling you, then that's the truth because we in my culture, some people I know would never say they take medication. So I'm so glad that you were so open about it. And we always want to talk about let's I'm sorry, I got so there's some static. Yeah. So so yeah, so we talk about people who say, "Well, I would never do that," and we kind of hide behind meditation and which is good. Meditation is good. Running is good. Working out is good. But when do you say, "Listen, I can't. This is not working"? Michelle, what do you think about that? When do you say, "Listen, this is not working. I need something else"?
Yeah, well, I can I say something else that came up before I answer that? I wanted to say, well, thank you, Rita, for just saying that, because I think to help mitigate some of that stigma, more people, and I always talk about, when it's relevant, like how I go to therapy, go to grief group, things like this, because I think that helps normalize some of the things that would help us. And I think the irony and the catch 22 in our society is like the very things that are going to help us be healthy and nourished are the things that could be stigmatized and be tabooed. So I think it's so important to have honest conversations and drop some of that stigma, to help drop some of that stigma. So I think it's really great, like that Rita shared. And when people talk about that, because it's you're stuck between a rock and a hard place when society like normalizes drinking a whole bottle of wine, but like you can't be honest that you're
Yeah.
going to therapy without feeling shame when you first, now I think it's great to say it out there, to help normalize it, but it's hard. That I do think there's some stigma, definitely, that I've seen, which is stinky, but
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't know, to answer your question, Dr. Joan, I think it's really just kind of knowing yourself, and like if you are doing them, like, there's medicine for a reason. So if you can't yoga yourself out of clinical depression and
Yeah.
certain things. So just really being honest, with yourself, and then talking to someone like a doctor or a professional or even a well-versed friend, that could maybe reflect back like, hey, it might be time to try something else, especially if you're stuck in a loop with the same results.
That was such a great answer. Rita, any last question, any last tips to tell somebody to take care of themselves? Any last tips?
well, I think like you really need to worry more about yourself and know about what people think.
Mhm.
I always I'm from South America, okay? So in Ecuador, you say if they don't feed you, they don't have the right to say anything about you, and you don't need to care.
Right.
So that's from Ecuador. It's my
Okay.
mom. Yeah.
That's right. They don't feed you. They
If
shouldn't
they
have
don't
nothing
feed
to
you,
say
they don't
about you.
say anything to you.
I love it. I
Love
love it.
that.
Megan, what is your final tip? How do, what can you tell somebody to help them with their mental health, knowing that it's okay? It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that you need to take away the idea that it's selfish. I know we touched on that topic. I think that you have to take that idea away. It is not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to take time. And that could be a day or a weekend or 5 minutes. I think it is not a selfish thing. It's your birthright to be joyful, and if that means you need a day or a weekend or a couple of minutes here and there or medicine or whatever you might need, like you should fight for yourself all the time.
Yes, fight for yourself all the time. Nobody's feeding you, so you shouldn't care about what they say. And Michelle say, listen, whatever it is, whatever you need, go and get it. You can't pour from an empty cup, can you? No. So fill yourself up. Take a day, take a moment, take 5 hours if you need it, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Take whatever you need to fill yourself up. I am Dr. Joan Coleman. This is the conversation. Put in the box below some tips to help us secure and take care of our mental health. And today I'm with Rita.
Oh, I'm Rita Reynolds, and you can find me on Instagram as the Reynolds Law.
Megan.
I'm Megan Price, and you can find me at MP Jewelry Appraisal and Consulting.
And Michelle.
I'm Michelle Caravella, and you can find me at Michelle_Caravella.
And I am Dr. Joan Coleman. Let me be me and Jay. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.